We got some breaking news coming out of Georgia. Georgia's fighting back against the Trump administration. They've just filed a motion under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 41G to get back the 656 boxes of voter data, voter material about the 2020 election that Trump's Department of Justice and FBI just seized in a raid overseen by Tulsi Gabbard, of all people, who's the head of our national intelligence community. So bizarre that even Todd Blanche, the number 2 in the office, couldn't explain why Tulsi Gabbard was even there. But the officials in Fulton County are firing back. They want that injunction to get the return of all the material, to stop the feds from reviewing any of the material and setting up an expedited briefing schedule, and to get unsealed the FBI agent's warrant that was provided to the federal magistrate in order to execute on that search warrant. A lot of bizarre things coming out of Fulton County, Georgia. Fulton County's officials, like Rob Pitts, has said this is a fight for the Constitution. Here's a clip of Rob Pitts, Fulton County Board of Commissioners. Play it.
This review has shown Fulton County elections are fair and lawful, and the outcome of the 2020 election will not change, period. Let me talk about voter protections. Now, we do not know where our election records have been taken or what will happen to them now that they are out of our control. This week's activities show that Fulton County is still much a target, and I'm told that I am personally a target. I'm a big boy. Now, while we've grown accustomed to name calling and rhetoric, we will not give 1 inch to those who seek to take control of our elections. Now, hear what I just said. We will not give 1 inch to those who seek to take control of elections in Fulton County. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. We're going to fight this in court with every resource that we have. And again, I'm very grateful to the support that is coming to us from around the country. Time and time again, the law has been on our side, and the greatest legal minds in the country agree it will be once again. I want to thank the local and national legal communities for their overwhelming support to us in this moment in the history of Fulton County, Georgia. Thank you.
They got to fight back. They have to fight back. That 2020 election has already been cleared by about 80 different federal and state lawsuits. The then head of cybersecurity and integrity in elections, Chris Krebs, who Donald Trump appointed back in 2020, it's all been exonerated. Donald Trump would never win Fulton County. He lost it by 70 points for Joe Biden. You could run that election 100 times. He's going to lose 100 times in Fulton County covering Atlanta, Georgia. He's that not liked, but Donald Trump didn't want to take rejection for an answer. So now he's running this whole, there's fraud in the election as a prerequisite for him to try to take over and federalize the national elections. There's 2 major fingerprints all over this scam, right? One is Donald Trump and the other is Ed Martin, who until recently was the head of the Weaponization Committee for the Department of Justice. Yeah, that's what they called it. Who since has been fired and sent back to being the pardon attorney. He's connected to this because the Missouri U.S. Attorney's Office, not the Georgia one, is running this operation, and that's connected to Ed Martin. On the day of the raid, Ed Martin posted a photo of himself with Sidney Powell, of all people, the disgraced lawyer who was convicted and pled guilty to charges of voter fraud and interference in Georgia. And he posted a photo with her, like as if she's being rehabilitated, based on this new raid. Then he got fired within hours of the raid from the Weaponization Committee, right? Now, to remind you of Sidney Powell, here's Sidney Powell claiming voter fraud in Georgia at the time. Play the clip.
This was exported from Venezuela and by Maduro and by Mr. Chavez. This is the consummate foreign interference in our election.
But then later, Sidney Powell didn't even believe her own bullshit And she recanted on voter fraud in a separate video appearance. Fresh start, same system. Banks win, you pay. Fees and calls piling up monthly. Unless you fight back. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands cut their debt and put money back in their pockets, not the banks. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills, PDS Debt has customized options for anyone in that situation. PDS Debt understands your specific scenario and will help you provide alternative solutions to becoming debt-free with a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, in your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, has thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, and a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Every month you wait costs you more in interest and fees. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best is right now. Don't wait another month. Take back control in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you at pdsdebt.com/legalaf. That's pdsdebt.com/legalaf. pdsdebt.com/legalaf. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/legalaf. And we know this whole argument that she ran, this conspiracy theory about Venezuela being involved with Dominion voting systems and Smartmatic to create software to flip votes from Trump to Biden, which was used by Chavez in Venezuela, has all been debunked. I mean, we know Fox paid $800 million to Dominion for defamation based on Sidney Powell's statements. That's one. And Smartmatic is about to get a giant judgment, I'm sure, based on the same allegations. Now, let me turn to Tulsi Gabbard. What is she doing there? And that's something that, as the director of national intelligence, that's something that Mark Warner and Jim Hines, the ranking members on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, would like to know, because they wrote a letter to her demanding that she appear at an oversight committee hearing to explain why she participated in a domestic law enforcement action when she should be focused on foreign threats. They want to know her reasoning for attending the FBI operation, what her role was, what her legal authority was, and what information she has about the 2020 election. That went to Tulsi Gabbard. It's so confusing why Tulsi Gabbard was there. I guess she left her vacation in Hawaii to go to Georgia to look for something to do, that even Todd Blanche, the number 2 in the office, didn't know what to say about it when he was asked why she was there and said she was not involved in the investigation when he was interviewed on Sunday morning talk shows. Play Todd Blanche.
Why was the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, present at an FBI raid?
First of all, it wasn't an FBI raid. It was a search warrant being executed by FBI agents in the middle of the day.
But why was she there?
And secondly, I don't know why the director was there. She is not part of the grand jury investigation, but she is for sure a key part of our efforts at election integrity and making sure that we have free and fair elections. She's an expert in that space, and it's a big part of what she and her team look at every day. But beyond that, I don't, like I said before, this is a grand jury investigation being conducted by a U.S. attorney, and that's where we have to leave it for now.
Mr. Blanche, imagine if President Biden sent his politically appointed Director of National Intelligence to Mar-a-Lago. You and his other personal attorneys would have been understandably very unhappy about it. Are you unhappy that the DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, was there?
Well, first of all, Biden's director of ODNI was involved in that case, as we all know. So whether Okay, but that's hardly the point.
And it also involved classified documents, not necessarily voter rolls.
Okay. Now, let's go to Donald Trump. We know Donald Trump's behind all this because he wants to nationalize or federalize at least the elections in 15 states, except the Constitution says you can't do that. That's why this is going to end up eventually at the United States Supreme Court, because he can't take over or federalize elections based on the Constitution. Of course, he goes on Dan Bongino's podcast. Remember him? Used to be a podcaster. Then he became deputy director of the FBI. I have to bite my tongue to not laugh out loud. And then he goes back to being a right-wing podcaster. Welcome back, Dan Bongino. And I love the softball questions. He never pushes back and says, you can't federalize, Mr. President. I was your FBI director, deputy FBI director.